Momentum is done. But what we have to do is sweep it up. Take a look at those orders. Today on The Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. Dealer again, Monday morning. Crazy Picker Life Momentum Recap Edition. Well, a lot going on last week. No videos that I can remember. Do you remember any? I can't remember any. So we went on the Nebraska Junk Jaunt, which is several days and hundreds of miles and hundreds of rummage sales and roadside antiques and stuff and shops and food and travel up there north of Grand Island, Nebraska. Wheeler and Banana Peeler and I went up there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days, and had a lot of fun and found some good stuff. We are back now Monday morning in the office. I ran auctions all weekend, and we are swamped this morning with orders as expected. So the recap video for the Nebraska Junk Jaunt, we're going to show off what we found. Saturday we got back and unpacked and laid out the stuff that we found, the items we found, and Wheeler and I commented on those. That should be posted tomorrow, Tuesday. If you want to tune in, that'll be a good solid hour episode of us chatting about the trip and the things that we found. Later this week I'm going to be doing a recap video on the Junk Jaunt and some of the numbers and expenses and time and thoughts on the business side of the trip. And then Thursday I think I'm going to do a video on luck. I've already had some comments back on luck, and I've got some thoughts on your business, my business, buying and selling, luck, business in general, and just really, I think the discussion that we'll have on Thursday, the video will be released Thursday night most likely. The discussion we have applies to lots of success, lots of successful people, businesses, and that type of thing. So I don't think it's going to be just about buying and selling. It could be applied to anything that you want to be successful in, and how people may perceive your success or your lack of success. I don't know, but that ought to be a good one. So we had a lot of fun on the Junk Jaunt. We'll recap that tomorrow and Wednesday. Today, I think we're looking at how many orders, Banana Peeler, do you see there on this?
42.
Okay, so we've got 42 orders on Canon Guy camera channel waiting to be packed up. One I know is pending because I've got a global shipping. The person wants to change their address after they paid for it, and that's got some complications associated with it, so that one's on hold. But 40 some orders, and then I know I've got like, I don't know, 20 to 25 other orders from our assorted channels. It's a big shipping day, so it is just after 8 a.m. It's probably later than that. 8:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. I've been up since 5 to try to get a handle on questions and printing invoices and general workflow. Not a lot going on. It's also end of month, and so there's a lot of things for me to do there. Just a lot of things going on, and we just got back in the office. So today's video is probably, you'll probably see me again here in a minute here on this video. What the heck are these hand signs I'm doing? See, it's this one gets a lot of, I don't know what that is. I don't know why I'm doing them. So I guess these people that put up all these hand signs, you got to look for patterns, right? It can't be just a one-time thing. Good grief. Dealer joining the bad side, the Illuminati? I don't think so. Anyway, hand signs aside, this video is going to be about momentum recap. We did a momentum contest. I'm going to show you our numbers. I'm going to talk about them. There will be some lessons that we learned that I will share, and probably some things that you can apply to your own tracking of your listing numbers, selling numbers, workflow, orders, growth, stagnation, all those things. So I'm going to recap that momentarily. That's going to be the bulk of this video. I'm going to show you my back room just to give you an idea of how plugged up we are right now with all the stuff we bought in the last few weeks. And the next time you see me, probably I'll be in my van stuffed with packages, just to show you what it looks like with 60 plus packages going out. I hope we make it. Okay, if you can sense my voice, I am a little bit overwhelmed right now. I'm in good spirits, of course, because we've made it back and got good orders. I don't know, this probably looks the same to you as normal, but there's piles of stuff that's not listed. There's totes of stuff that's not listed. There's stuff up there in totes that's not listed. Up there, oh my goodness. There's stuff everywhere piled up and ready to go. So still haven't listed my ship thing. I don't know why I've put that off. My momentum was not momentumizing my momentum. Oh, I always hit that one. Look at that. 6'4", 6'9" with the afro. So this this walkway here is so solid, and it's about 2 inches short. I have hit that one so many times head on. Actually, not that many times. You hit them once or twice when you use them regularly, and then if you don't use this room for a while and you reconvert it to inventory, then you hit it again a couple times until you're knocked silly enough to remember to duck. The thrill of being tall. It's not all cake. Okay, got to end this segment. Momentum, information, closeout, lessons learned, coming soon after I show our packages out. Okay, there's what it looks like. Doesn't look too super impressive. I guess it does. I don't know. 62 packages. Got the whole crew along today because we're running late. Can you imagine that? Oh, seatbelt time. Can't juggle the camera and put the seatbelt on. All right. So I brought help. I brought all this waving help. They're all excited. We're in like 50-degree weather. Everybody's all excited, got extra energy. So 2 UPS, I gotta still pack those. And 2 I couldn't find, which they should be around, so we're gonna have to locate those. But at 3:01, when you're supposed to be there at 3 o'clock, you gotta go with 62 packages. So, gonna talk about momentum. Okay, running late. It's already getting late. I don't have a watch on, son of a gun. Well, I usually like to get my video done so I can get a little more work done before now, but it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock already. And it has been a long day. You can see some more orders for tomorrow are already laid out. There's a bunch more than that already, which is good. It's just, it's like the recovery. And there's a slight preview of some of the things we'll talk about in tomorrow's video that we bought this last weekend. The dealer promo car roundup down there. Kate got those pictured so I can list those at my leisure. Okay. Whew. Got my day done, got my run in, got my shower in, feeling relaxed. Sitting back with a little bit of lemon ale. Woo. have to admit that I got a little over caffeinated today. I did get up at 5. Probably took an hour off all day. Been going until now. Let's say it's 9:30. That's a lot of hours. I'm probably going to do a little more listing tonight, even though we are out of the momentum period. I want to hold myself to a standard of listing. I do not want to slow down my listing. My listing is different than Wheeler's. I'm going to talk a little bit about that during this video. My listing, I need to hold myself to a minimum of a couple a day, and then some days I get like 10 or 15 done. But I really have to stay at it, even with a minimum, just to move forward. And I've got a lot of good items to list. A lot of them are fun items, and I can sort of trick myself into sitting down and listing, even when I would rather watch Monday Night Football or rather go to bed early and read or whatever, right? Whatever you do. So when I have fun items, when I have items I like, it's a lot easier. When I'm listing like sort of junky camera lots and stuff like that, nothing against those things, but to me it's more generic, and it's not as fun as listing dealer promo cars. When I'm done listing those, I can put those in my office and enjoy them displayed in my office as part of my decor. And then as they sell, I kind of feel good and bad because my decor goes down and my sales go up. Okay, let's get into this. So I made some notes. I've got a few things tacked up that we'll look at over there. Momentum, okay? The title of this video has momentum in it. For those that are tuning into this video and don't know what momentum is, in our business, my business and Wheeler's business, and of course my family, parts of my family are also parts of the business. Wheeler and I do most of the listing. In fact, Wheeler does most of the camera listing. Banana Peeler does some belt buckles. We purchased a bunch of those in the last couple weeks, and he's got some more to list, so he did some listing. Kate takes pictures for me for most things these days. That all helps out. We started a contest for our business, a promotion for our business in late June. It might have been the last week of June. It was to end at the end of September, which just happened. Today is October 1st, 2018, our contest ended, and we did 83 days of listing. Now, some of those days we were either on vacation or out picking or didn't list that day, or Sundays we don't list, and so it was mostly July, August, September, and maybe the last week of June. And I put up a huge goal for us. I said, hey, look, we want to go on vacation this fall. Let's shoot for a big goal so we can feel good about taking a couple weeks off this fall and going on vacation. And we've got a lot of inventory, especially camera stuff to list. We're jam-packed. We've got a storage unit out of state with 200, 300, 400 boxes, totes of stuff. We've got another 100 in our office. We need to get this stuff listed and sold. We're jammed up. And I also noticed, and I'll show you on this graph in a few minutes over here, we had a nice start of the year, but we had recently sort of slumped down in sales. And so I said, let's try to list $200,000 worth of new listings, new inventory, $200,000 and 4,000 listings. And how did I come up with that number? Well, I came up with a number that would stretch us. Something that we had never done before, something that, It was out there a little bit. Did I think we could do it? I don't know. I mean, I wanted to do it, right? Was it inflated? Was it way too much? You know, maybe. It was an ambitious goal, let's just say that. So we put out an ambitious goal, and we kept pace for a while, and then we fell off the pace for a while. But it was an ambitious goal and a focusing goal, and the goal, or at least the end result that we hoped to have, was if we did this listing at an accelerated pace over what we normally would list, we hoped, we thought, we planned, I did, that we would start selling stuff at a faster pace and dig ourselves out of this little rut we were in sales, and we would have a strong summer into the fall. We would gain momentum, right? Momentum means sort of like a carrying forward at a strong pace. We wanted strong sales. Whoa. Had an earthquake there with the tripod. It's been a really long day. This video is tough for me to make from the standpoint of I'm sort of coming off my weekend and tired, but I want to make it because I want to cap off this momentum thing. So hopefully this comes across with some value. I'm getting to it, right? I'm getting to the meat of this thing. So we had this contest, and we laid it all out. We kept stats on a board daily. Wheeler put his numbers listed, his dollars listed, his items listed. I would add mine daily. We would update it. We saw it. We both saw it as we walked into our offices. We both had different boards. The total kept getting higher and higher and higher. The amount was higher and higher and higher. We had a few incentives weekly, like I would buy Wheeler coffee. We would do certain things if we made it that week. There was a cash incentive at one point that Wheeler was chasing because I wanted to keep going. I wanted to hit it, And then there was a point where we didn't fizzle out, but we lost the pace and had to recalibrate it a little bit, try to come up with a new daily amount that we had to list to make it. And then it was a combination of things at the end. Partially, we didn't run out of items, but we had pulled a lot of the quality items out of the camera stuff. And so as time went on, the item quality that we were able to list wasn't quite as good. So lots of lessons learned, right? So why do something like this? That's the next question. Why put a big goal up? Why chase that goal? Why try to motivate yourself? Why record numbers on a whiteboard? Why have accountability? Why talk about this in our office, about this momentum? Why have, prizes and incentives weekly? Well, a lot of it is fun. It makes it more fun. I mean, listing is work, right? No matter how much you like your items, it's easier just to do something else than it is to list. Now you can get in a groove. Wheeler talks about this all the time. He gets in the groove and then bam, he can just list some things. But sometimes for him, it's hard getting in the groove. Sometimes he's real sluggy, and he can talk about that if he wants sometime. And then other times he's in the groove, and I'm 30 plus years older than Wheeler. I've dug ditches. I've done a lot of things that are monotonous. I've done a lot of things I haven't wanted to do but had to do them. I've done some things I like to do. Listing to me is just like anything else. It's not like it's always easy, but if I sit down to do it, I just start doing it. Some people may not have had the life experiences to understand the reality of just doing that, and so Wheeler tends to do some of this, and part of that is just 19 years old, chasing a number of different things besides work. I understand all that, right? So that's what you get. But why do this? Well, for me, I saw that we had sales slump. We had sort of slumped. And we had all this tremendous inventory. So I needed to sort of find a way to invigorate both Wheeler and myself in the business, get ourselves focused and go. And I have to give some credit to my wife, Lon. She helped me talk this through and came up with some of the idea for it. And, we were sort of at a low point there where, like, man, are we going to be able to pull this thing off? We had just last year, it's about a year ago, we had just moved out of the commercial building that we had, a much larger building, and we basically lost our lease. The owner of the building sold the building to another party, and they wanted our space, and they wanted us to move the other side, which was inferior. I decided to move home. There was no other good real estate available within our area. I didn't want to move the business farther away from home. I liked walking to work. And so we moved it home, and that whole change was big. And then we got used to that for a month, and then we went on vacation for 6 weeks, which is crazy and incredible. And then when we came back from vacation from 6 weeks, we had all this inventory and no cash flow for 6 weeks. We had to get going, and so we went at it. We were both rested, Wheeler and I. We went at it, and we did well for a while. Sales were good, and then we lost focus. And I didn't want to lose focus over the summer. I wanted to keep going. We had plenty of inventory. And so we came up with this momentum contest. Okay, so a couple of things I'm going to talk about. And if you want to do a momentum contest, I would recommend shorter than 83 days, shorter than 9 months. That's too long to sprint. You will burn out. You will burn your friends out, your family out. I wanted to test our systems in our new space, both size-wise, people-wise. Can we do a business at home? How's that all going to work? Can we move a bigger, amount of inventory? All those things. Can we live at home, work at home, homeschool at home? So many people in this house, it drives me crazy. Can we do all that? So we tested our systems. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we burned out a little bit. I'm going to talk about what momentum means on the other end after you list hard for a while. Okay, what else? I'm going to talk about the end result and some ideas for the future. So let's look at some graphs here, shall we? You have to bear with me. I'm at the end of my day. Okay, let's look at this. Now, I've got two graphs here. They mean a lot to me. They're not perfect. I don't spend time perfecting my spreadsheets or anything like that where every label is great and all that. I just don't have the time. If we had 20 people working in our company, maybe, but it's just how it is. So this graph is relative. These dates all say January, but each of these points is a month point. Starting in January, 35,000 in sales we had that month. We had a good January, and it went down to 25,000, up a little bit, and this was the slope down. Now I want to back up a second and just explain this. I was buying and selling test strips, and I probably revealed this, maybe not, but I bought test strips on eBay and sold them on Amazon in January. Mega, probably $10,000 worth. and it was low margin. Out of the $10,000 that I sold, profit was probably $1,600, and that's not the profit margin we're used to, but it was an experiment, and that's probably why our sales are $35,000. Our sales probably that month would have been closer to $25,000 to $26,000, $27,000. We had a good month, but it wasn't that good. I mean, it was that good, but the profit margin wasn't normal. So that's why that one's up at 35. 25,000, a little bit more. And then this slope, right? That's the slope down that I was concerned about. We went below what I like to see as our average for the last, I don't know, 5 years, 20,000 a month. That's kind of what we've aimed at. We went below that. Ooh, below that. I don't remember what month that was. Let's see. That's June, May, April. We started to hit this. We had a good month, and then April was here down below 20. I started to get concerned. Then the next month, May, oh my gosh, we're below 15,000. You know, yellow alert, red alert, whatever, right? That's when I started to worry and realized we needed to do something. And then June recovered almost to the 20,000 with the nice week we had the last week of June. July was up there good. August was up there good, and I just finished the stats for September, and we were still for a summer month. Typically September is okay for us. This was an okay month for us. It's above the 20,000, right? And in reality, this funky shape sort of reflects our burnout. We came out of this listing hard. We hit a nice plateau for the summer and sort of burned out a little bit. But that gives you an idea of why I'd put this in force and what it did. It put us into a nice summer where we could have just went, along like this, or maybe we would have went down a little bit and up a little bit. Who knows? But this is better, right? Now, we didn't shoot the moon. Summer is not a time for us to shoot the moon. Our best months typically are right here, January, February, March, for whatever reason. Now, one note, for Wheeler's channel, the camera channel, for this year, 2018, we're up 23% sales over last year at this time for the whole year. So through the first 9 months for camera gear, we're up 23%. That's good. That's good. That's partially because we had good sales here, and partially because through the summer we did this. And so that's the good news. Now, let me just talk about this before I show this graph a little bit. I'm looking at some notes I wrote on here. We used to, Wheeler and I, get together, and every month we'd be like, all right, we're going to do $1,000 a day every day we list. When we're not picking, we're going to do, between Wheeler and I, we're going to concentrate and talk to each other through the day, and we're going to try to list $1,000 a day. And we would hit that for a whole month, and then we would have some sort of celebration, a prize. One time we bought ourselves a big screen TV, another time we bought ourselves a arcade machine, another time we bought ourselves a huge bean bag. Some of you remember that thing, the love sack they call it, but it's just a humongous beanbag chair. So we always would celebrate when we would hit the $1,000 a day. It was a good focusing thing. I think we might put that back in play because that worked. Now in the summer, when I'm not doing school with the other kids, we raised it up to $1,200 a day that we would list together. During the 83 listing days of momentum, to give you some reference, okay, we averaged, between Wheeler and I, $1,509 a day listing. So that's not $1,000 a day or $1,200 a day. That's $1,509 a day. That's pretty good. Now, we have had good months of listing in the past, but $1,500 a day is pretty solid average. That's a good listing average. I mean, if you want to sell $600, $800, $1,000 a day, listing $1,509 a day, you got a shot at it. And that's, you know, that's typically, we typically sell $700, $800 a day. So 28 items a day was what that was. We listed 28 items a day for a total of $1,509 a day. Now, again, a relative graph. This first line here, sorry about that. This first line here is when we started the contest. This is heading time-wise that way. This is when we ended the contest. Before this, you know, Wheeler did some listing. We were in a little slump. The first week of listing, whoa, he's listing 45 items a day. I mean, he came out of there and just went after it, which really shot us out of a cannon. And obviously in the weeks that followed, he was down a little bit. And then there was this point of 9 or 10 weeks where he held it together. 9 or 10 weeks is like 60 days, give or take. That's a nice level thing. And then combination of burning out, combination of having bad items and just not feeling like listing. Oh my gosh, right off the map, right down to the 10 a day. And I feel bad about that in some ways, but we tried to sprint too long and we just couldn't muscle it through. That's Wheeler's listing. That's not my listing. Now, my listing, like I said, is not every day, every week, all that. It goes up and down. Some of the things I was listing were $5, $10 each, and that's pretty hard to get $1,000 a day by yourself or something like that. You could list as much as you want and not get it. So, you know, every week for me was a little bit different. If I would have had the treasure hunt stuff that I showed off a couple weeks ago, the flea market printers and things like that I bought a few weeks ago, and the stuff that you'll see in tomorrow's video, the junk jaunt stuff, if I would have had that at the beginning of Momentum, our final number, I think, would, did I write our final number down? Good grief. Our final number, 100% disorganized, our final number would probably have been up something like, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more. I just would have had the horsepower to help Wheeler on the number in a bigger way than I did. I mean, I still listed quite a bit. I really did. It kept me focused, and I listed quite a bit. Wheeler listed more than I did by a margin. That's what he does. I mean, he does he does listing. That's his work day. He answers some of the questions. He does some of the picking, but that's his focus. I have him focused on that, and that's what he does. So that's just how that works out. 125,000. Let's see. I don't think I even have it written down. Well, it's 1509 times 83. It's 125,000. It's like 2,300 items, something like that. So we fell short of the 200,000. We fell short of the 4,000 items. However, the important thing was to gain momentum, to move some items, to really test the systems. All those things, check, check, check. So that works out. $1,509 listed a day, check. Can we do that again for a short period of time, like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a month? I think so. We need a break. We're going to take a break. And by taking a break, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop listing. It means we're just going to make listing goals a little more realistic. And you are not going to chase crazy numbers, So here's a little bit about testing systems. And by the way, Wheeler's fine. he's naturally had peaks and valleys, and he's got a lot of other hobbies, a lot of other interests, a lot of other things going on. He experimented again today, which I was really pleased to find out, with a system that I tried to help him set up, where he worked in 3 chunks per day of 2 hours each. 2 hours of concentrated listing, then take a break, 2 hours of concentrated listing, take a big long break if you need to. 2 hours of listing, take a big long break, do whatever you want, rather than just kind of muddle through a really long, ugly day. And so he decided to do that. So maybe that's something that Momentum has done. I mean, I have tried to teach him certain things that I've picked up over the last 35 years of my work life, and some of them he realizes are good, some of them he incorporates, some of them he bucks. He's free-spirited, he's hard-willed, tough-willed, he's got to learn some things, and so this did press him in certain directions. He saw his check go up, he liked that. He saw his check bottom out a little bit again, didn't like that as much. All those things you can learn by changing your speed and your effort level and trying new things, and that's what this was all about. Okay. Prolonged listing. We tested that. We have never had a contest or an effort where we tried to list for 3 months. Again, I've already talked about this. Too long. Way too long. You just can't do it. I based it on something that I had in my past, this madman 90-day cycle, and sometimes I feel like I'm on a year-long madman cycle, and that's just sort of who I am and what I've put myself in here with 6 kids and homeschooling and home business and running and all the other stuff that we're involved in. So some people can do it and some people can't. Now, the business environment that I came out of, a sales environment that did these 90-day madman cycles, the top guy that was teaching it was worth like $200 million, and he had built this business from scratch to zing-zang, doing these 90-day madman cycles, and not everybody could do it, obviously, because not everybody ended up with this $200 million net worth, right? He had a house like you wouldn't imagine. But, so you can learn from those people, but what you can also learn is your limitations. 90 days listing for us, hard. 1,500 a day is what we did. We would have needed like 2,000 something a day to hit the 200,000. I don't know what the exact number is, but it would have been 2,300, 2,400. I don't know. We couldn't do it. We did it for a while. We kept pace for a while, and then that was that. And we sort of coasted out of there, right? So if you set goals for yourself, you're going to have to set reasonably ambitious goals, or you should, but you're going to have to realize that it's not always going to work out, or maybe you can't do it as long as you think. We're pretty hard-headed here at the Crazy Ficker Life. We like to go out and run 10-mile running races. For my birthday that I turned 50 a while back in May, I tried to run 50 miles for 50 years and ended up making 40 and walking a bunch of it. So we're used to pushing the envelope, and in this business, steady wins the race, but pushing it will teach you some things, and I don't know, that's what we do. You got to figure out your own path. So the prolonged listing, if I was to do it again, I think we're going to go back to just 30-day contests, put up a prize. We got to hit so much per day. We got to hit it every day that we list. We can map it on a calendar and say we're going to be gone here. We're taking Sundays off. We're going to take a break day here. But every other day, if we hit 1,000, here's what we get. We go go-karting. We, go to a NBA basketball game. We buy something for the house. We buy something for fun. We go bowling as a B prize. If we don't make it, we go bowling or something, whatever, right? Little weekly things like go out for a coffee, go bowling, go to a movie, whatever. Little things like that. 30 days would be plenty. 90 too much. More packing for banana peeler. Okay, so as we gain momentum, I don't have all the statistics, but our orders went up. We had some weeks where we had mega orders. We had mega orders today, and it wasn't the first day since we started to get momentum. And I got to test my son banana peeler out a little bit on packing. Lots of orders, and that stretched him. He started to do his homework, some of it the night before, so that he could pack in the morning. And so I got to test him out a little bit and learn a little bit about how that all worked, right? Today, we had so many orders that he laid out all his and did his. I had to do mine upstairs, which means I'm going up and down the steps, fighting for table space, fighting for boxes. That was tough. That was really tough. We did 62 orders plus 3 UPS. I packed another one here when I got home because I finally found the item, and we're 10 deep for tomorrow already. That stressed our system. So I got to test those systems, and really 2 things were new for us. One, we were packing orders in our new home location here, and the second, banana peeler started packing orders sometime before momentum. It wasn't long before that. And he's working out pretty well. He's doing really well. So that was good. We also tested our ability to max out our current space. As you list 2,300 items in 3 months, you got to put those somewhere. They don't all sell. We run buy it nows for the most part. And so I needed to test out our shelving. Can we house all that stuff? Can we house that volume? And of course, we already had a bunch of stuff that wasn't listed that was packing up our new smaller space, and so I got to work with maxing that out. Okay, what else? I'm always testing myself, and I don't really sit there and go, all right, dealer, test yourself. I mean, it's dynamic, and you're in that position most likely if you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people working with you and you're the main person. You're testing yourself all the time, and you don't necessarily think about it in that way, but you're testing yourself. You're testing new things. You're testing your capacity. You're always trying to focus, and for me, I feel like I'm the director of throughput. The whole thing ends when I take the orders out. But before that, it's all testing and getting things to work out smoother and smoother and smoother. And you want to maintain your eBay feedback rating. You want to get your orders out on time. You want to handle questions efficiently. You want to handle inventory efficiently. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things there. So we tested some of those things out. Wheeler burning out. I had a lot of discussions with Wheeler. I don't know what will stick out of that. I would like him to enjoy listing, and if he doesn't, he can do something else with his young life. Whether he'll do that for the rest of his life, I've already talked about the idea of him mentoring some other listers in the camera area and how that might work out. I don't know. Momentum means more orders. We talked about that. Hard to pack all the orders on Monday, especially if we go away. Okay, if we go picking on Saturday, that means we have Saturday's orders and Sunday orders that are on Monday. If we go away like we did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got a mega order pile. That doesn't happen very often. You might ask, how the heck did I do that? Didn't I have 1 day handling time? Well, I did, but I changed it all to 3 day handling time and then went on our little junk jaunt there. Didn't want to do that, but I didn't want to stop orders either. More dollar items. Okay, so here's something that did happen. We actually listed and built up our inventory on the shelves by 25% over the contest. So when the contest started, we had one amount of inventory in back stock listed, and when we were done, we had 25% more. You know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more. And just because that stuff hasn't sold, I'm not worried about it. I know as I go through my price reduction strategy and as time goes on towards the heavier time to sell certain of our items, they'll sell. So we've built up a reserve, and I like that. That will help smooth some of the, ups and downs. Like today, we had good orders over the weekend, and then I'm sitting on 10 more orders, and so I'm feeling a little momentum. It's like this wave is behind you, and it keeps coming. Here comes another one. Here comes another one. We've built that momentum up, and now our job is to keep feeding our online systems, keep feeding the listed items, keep listing items. We don't have to do it at such a crazy pace, but we need to keep feeding it to keep the momentum. Once you get momentum, easier to keep it. If you don't have momentum and you want momentum, it's a lot of work. If you fall out of momentum, it's a lot of work to get it back. Once you have it, if you're not totally burnt out, just list and keep shoveling that coal in the fire at a moderate pace, and you'll keep it for a while. You might have to go for it at some point. If you're shoveling coal in the fire going up a whole hill in the train, you better start shoveling a little faster, right? End result, ideas for the future. Okay, let me get ready for this one. Ready? This is really good lemon ale. It's very low alcohol. It's made in Hays, Kansas. Lemon ale. It's really good. I think they just put a bunch of lemonade in with lemonade juice with a low APV ale. It's tasty. It's a nice deal. So. End result, ideas for the future. While we gain momentum, I feel better about how many orders are going out of here. I feel better about the amount of inventory we have. We still have a ton of stuff in our back room. It's not all A quality on the camera side, although there's plenty of good stuff there. I've got A quality stuff on the non-camera side. And so my goal to the end of the year is to really get that going and, pick up any discrepancies in listing that Wheeler might have because he doesn't have A-grade stuff. So we're going to have a good year. We might even have a record sales year this year. And I'm trying to think. I guess I've got the number. I think we're on pace for a record year, which it won't be by much unless we have a super strong fall, but it'll be right in there. We're pretty steady every year, and I think it goes up a little bit most years, but we're pretty steady. And I don't know. I don't think we work quite, in a lot of ways, I don't think we work quite as hard as we used to. When we moved out of this basement and went to a commercial location 4+ years ago, I didn't want to work for anybody. So I put the pedal to the metal. I made sure that we were going to work out all the kinks and make it. And we did that. And now we're not necessarily coasting. but we've worked a lot of kinks out of it, so we don't have to work, 12-hour days every day. And we did do that for a while. Definitely did that for a while. We still work hard. Some people say, I was talking to people on the Junk Jaunt about online sales. They're like, oh, I bet you don't make very much money per hour. And some people don't. I mean, you got to figure it out. I think I make really good money per hour, actually. I mean, I work plenty of hours, but I actually make pretty good money too. So whatever. That's kind of weird. Dealer, why don't you give us the particulars? Well, I'm not. You don't just tell people exactly how much you make. We do fine. Do people do better than us in the sales game? Of course they do, the buy and sell game. Do some people do worse? Sure they do. Can everybody get better? Can everybody find their niche? Can everybody make a good salary from year to year? Well, yeah, if you study this business and apply yourself and get out of your comfort zone on some end of it that's holding you back, all those things, right? End result, I'm pleased with the result. 125,000 listed, way above our average that we used to shoot for. Good amount of items. We've got way more camera stuff than I thought we did, which I guess is good because we listed a whole bunch and we still got a whole bunch left. I got a storage unit full of stuff. One of these days I'm gonna have to stop buying camera stuff. Is that possible? I don't know. I guess. Gonna have to find a bigger storage area. So ideas for future, well, like I said, I think we're just going to try to do shorter contests, break it up, make it more bite-sized, make it funner at different shorter increments. Right now we're going to take a break for a while. We're going to assess some things, talk about the future. Wheeler and I are going to meet regularly. We have some plans that are starting to form for our new office. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to fit within what we want to do. I'm not revealing that here, but I'm feeling a little bit better about a direction that we're going. I don't know when that exactly gelled, but things take time. This video just kind of seems like it's all over the place. Well, that's how it is. Okay, so I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to try to find this lens that we misplaced, this little boxed lens that should have went out today, but it didn't. And then I think I'm going to upload this video and list some items. Tomorrow, as promised, I'll give a short intro on what the Junk Jaunt was all about for us. And then I'll show off with Wheeler, we already pre-recorded this, the items that we found. So that should be fun. It's like going to be like an hour show. So that'll be that. I hope this was helpful to you. I felt compelled to wrap this up, talk about it, try to put an end cap on it. I told everybody that we were going to do this momentum thing. I was going to do this vlog, and then I'm going to take a break. I am going to take a break from doing videos. Like I said, I'm going to do the video tomorrow with the inventory. Then I'm going to do a recap of that, the numbers of our trip, and how the time and trip and travel and all that works out. And then Thursday I plan to do a topic on luck. And then I think I'm going to take a break. I don't know how long. Could be short, could be long. It probably will be most of October at a minimum. I may pop in from time to time. I don't think I'll leave you in the lurch forever. Although the way I feel right now, it has nothing to do. It's not personal, but I do need a break. And I got a little one last week, if you can call it one. At least I got a break from making videos. I like making videos, but it is challenging. Ask anybody who makes videos. to make them more than a couple times a week, no matter what, it is challenging. It is challenging. And to make them a couple times a week is also challenging. So making videos is challenging. I need a break. But I will be back tomorrow. Pick well, list often. Thanks for watching. Put your comments below. Thumbs up if you'd like. Thumbs down if you'd like. Dealer's out of here.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer Production.